Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.
Hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 146 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim, the Parisian Torpedo Van Stratton. I'm joined by Rodney Newpol. He of no nickname. I call him the Rod Dog occasionally.
The Parisian Torpedo.
Yeah, you want to take a guess?
No, I have no idea, bro.
That is Tony Parker's nickname, apparently.
Really? Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't think I ever heard it that actually said in a broadcast, maybe like in a local Spurs broadcast, but like I don't think we ever heard Mike Breen say the Parisian Torpedo with an assist to Duncan. Like,
no, but that's a good one.
Gnarly.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could teach you some things too. Like we've had 146 shows now. I kind of have to start getting creative with the nicknames. Spoiler alert.
True. True.
So it's kind of just what I have to do here. But thanks everyone who joined us tonight. He's Rodney, I am Tim, and we have lots to get to over the next hour or so. If this is your first time watching us, welcome. If this is your 146th time, get a life. And then if you're somewhere in between, welcome. You know the drill right now. You know, Rodney and I have lots to get to. We have some best bets to recap near the end of the show. At the end of the show, we'll remember someone from yesteryear. But a real quick PSA. We're now 113 days from opening night of the NFL season. We talked obviously a lot of schedule on Thursday, and I think I mentioned I'm very surprised that we're starting the year with a Super Bowl rematch, and especially like a rematch of a Super Bowl that was pretty bad.
Yeah. And you don't love it on a Wednesday night.
I do. I don't. No, I don't love Wednesday NFL to open the year. I don't just doesn't sit right with me. But again, ask me in 113 days if I'm excited about the game that night.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're going to wake up Wednesday morning and you'll be like, yes, NFL is here. It's Wednesday and it's here. And you're not even going to remember that it should start on a Thursday.
No, I'm going to be so happy. Be like, oh, thank God I couldn't wait another day. I couldn't wait until Thursday to have an NFL game. I'm so happy that Roger made it a Wednesday this year. Then we got Australia. And then, there's a lot of football that'll be happening 113 days from now. So we're excited. All right, before we get to some NBA stuff, there is a game going on right now. There was, I think, unquestionably the playoff game of the year last night. Yes. But, Rodney, why don't we go ahead and give a quick shout-out to our friends over at Gateway Sports for all of their support for our show.
Yeah, Gene and the boys. Gene's kind of the head of it. He does a great job there. So shout out Gene and all the guys over at Gateway Sports. If you love sports at every level, there's only one place you need to be. That is Gateway Sports. They cover it all from the preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live shows to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects the region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one Gateway. And I wanted to mention those boys over at Gateway are most of them are St. Louis Cardinal fans. Cardinals up 6-4, bottom of the 8th. If the Cardinals win and the Cubs can't come back, suddenly the Cardinals and Cubs are once again tied. Same place they were opening day. They're tied. Cardinals have caught the Cubs. Can you believe it?
Apparently the Cubs have lost like 7 of their last 10. Crushed by the Brewers yesterday. What happened today with the Cubs?
Yeah, they were losing last I looked. Just a little bit ago, they were losing again. Brewers playing good baseball. It's 5-2 Brewers, but Cubs got bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Looks like Seiya singled. Aaron Ashby's in the game. Aaron Ashby, 26 pitches, 2/3 of an inning, 2 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and a walk. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to give up 5 runs.
Yeah.
And then they're going to score in the bottom. They're going to score in the top of the 9th and win 6-5. And Aaron Ashby is going to come away with the win. It'll be 9-0. Aaron Ashby's 8-0 on the season. 8-0.
It's the stupidest stat in baseball right now.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. But Cardinals just took a 6-4 lead on Alec Burleson home run. J.J. Weatherholt hit a home run today. He's got 9 on the season. So, Cardinals, if they win this one, they'll be 5-0 against the Pirates. It's always nice to beat your division.
Always good. So thanks to Gateway Sports for all of their support over the last several months. I mean, over a year, honestly, that they've been sponsoring the show. So shout out to them. All right. I kind of need to walk back something that I said last week. So I kind of just assumed that the Thunder were going to roll, even though on this very show back in like December, we sat here and we talked about what would a Spurs-Thunder series look like. And at that time I said, I could see the Spurs beating them. And last night we get a double overtime game in Oklahoma City, an incredible game that had so many memorable moments. I think most people are going to remember Victor Wembanyama pulling up from damn near 30 feet to tie the game in overtime. Just a horrible shot, an ill-advised shot. No one on God's green earth should take that shot, and yet he drilled it, and it was a sight to behold. But the Spurs end up pulling away in double overtime, 122-115. Wembanyama, 41 points, 21 rebounds.
I think I got 24.
Or 24, yeah. 41 points, 24 rebounds. I mean, that's obviously the main story here, but as a whole, based on what you watched last night, do we think San Antonio might win this thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they can win it, but I mean, San Antonio is going to give everything they can to Oklahoma City. I don't know. Oklahoma City, Shea didn't play that well. SGA was not great last night. But part of that is Wemby's size makes a huge difference. Like, it's hard to score over him. But like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around a 7'4" dude coming down the floor and knocking down a 30-footer effortlessly to tie the game in the biggest moment of the game. Like, that's just not like you and I understand. Like, I don't know about understand. I don't want to sound like we know the NBA more than, but like you and I understand the level of these NBA players, and we understand that like we're watching absolute monster freaks play the game. Whether you like the NBA, you like the style, whatever. Whatever. But like what these guys can do, you're telling me a 7-foot dude can literally just pull up from 30 feet and hit a tying shot and just like almost effortlessly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. NBA players as a whole have become massively underrated, if that makes sense. Just like what they can do on the court. But you look at a guy like Wembanyama in particular, it's one thing to just be taller than everyone.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to bring the ball up, to hit threes, to be a playmaker, like to do all of the things. Like he's like a shooting guard in a center's lanky, gangly body.
Yeah.
That when healthy, because you always have to preface it with these tall guys, like when healthy is totally unstoppable. And when Wembanyama plays 20 plus minutes a night for San Antonio, they're damn near unbeatable.
Yeah.
And that's with a team that, last night with no De'Aaron Fox, they rolled out a lineup where the oldest guy in their starting 5 was 25 years old.
Yeah.
They had a 20-year-old rookie in Dylan Harper. Stephon Castle's young. Wembanyama's still only 22. Devin Vassell and then Champagny were 23 and 25 respectively. So like this is the youngest conference final team that we've had since like the 70s. led by a guy who is just a total freak of nature, but so immensely talented that if the Thunder didn't exist, I mean, we would already be saying like the Spurs dynasty is about to start.
Yeah.
And this was a team that picked second overall a year ago. Yeah.
No.
Like they got the second overall pick this last year.
Yeah. Yeah. We knew they were on the rise, but obviously their trajectory rose faster than we thought, right? Like this was supposed to be like, oh, they're going to be contenders, but like, or they're going to be like in the mix to contend. We didn't really think they were going to be boom. They're right there with the opportunity to win it all. Like, cause they are like, you look at the 4 teams left and this is an obvious statement when they're up 1-0 in Western Conference Finals, but like it's anybody. I mean, I don't know about anybody's final, but they've got just as good a shot as anyone. I still think Oklahoma City, because they have a little bit more of the postseason experience. And Shea's going to play better. I still think they do come away with it. But, boy, winning on the road in Game 1 was awfully impressive.
Yeah, SGA, 24 points, 12 assists, 5 steals, but a minus 15. The MVP is minus 15 out there. He was 7 of 23 from the field. What's crazy to me, too, is Chet Holmgren, too. Like, Chet Holmgren's another guy who's totally neutralized by Wembanyama being out there. So much so, like, not just offensively, where he had a whopping 8 points in 41 minutes, but defensively, they're not even putting him on there. It's Alex Caruso who's drawing the assignment. And Alex Caruso last night had 31 points off the bench. I think that tied his career high. I mean, like, Alex Caruso, the absolute game of his life. Not only 31 points on the offensive end, but guarding Wembanyama to the best of his abilities on the defensive end. And, like, it resulted in a double overtime loss. Like, I don't know. This could have been the Spurs winning that game comfortably, and they were ahead for quite a bit in regulation until the Thunder, had a nice couple of runs in the fourth quarter to even things out. But, like, the Spurs, I would say, over the however many minutes the game was, 58 minutes or so, like, the Spurs controlled it, I would say, 45 of those 58 minutes total.
Right.
On the road, super young. They have a pretty green head coach. They have a super green team. This is the farthest they've gotten as a franchise in almost a decade. Like, that's super impressive. And I'm kind of with you where I'm sure the odds still say Oklahoma City's the favorite in this series, but boy, I don't know how much longer you can say OKC the favorite is a given, especially when these teams head to head this year. Like, the Spurs played them super, super well because they just don't have an answer for Wembanyama.
Yeah, and does anybody have an answer for Wembanyama in any of the NBA? Right. And I know we're going to get to him specifically next, and that's the question. Like, if you're the Thunder coaching staff today, like, what adjustments are you thinking about making for Game 2? Because, like, I mean, you're going to have to make adjustments. So you said it. Oklahoma City is still minus 115 to win the series. Spurs are minus 105. So Vegas, has got it as pretty much a coin toss now. And, I don't remember what it was, probably 160 or so before. And Spurs were probably 2 or 3 to 1. But, I mean, it's anybody's series now.
So sticking with Wembanyama here. So he is, I was trying to remember if this was his second year or his third year. So it's his third year. Obviously this is sort of the sign of things to come. I don't think anyone is trying to say, like, all right, I know we can't predict things completely, but, like, Victor Wembanyama will be an NBA champion, yes or no?
Yeah.
In his career.
He'll win an NBA championship. I would say yes.
Okay, so my question to you then is, Victor Wembanyama, when it's all said and done, he's 22 years old. 20 years from now, when we're looking back at the career of Wemby, he will win blank. How many championships? How many MVPs? What accolades? Like, how do you see the Wembanyama career playing out if you had to say right now? Again, this is a long look into the future here, but based on what you've seen, based on just how these generational prospects end up, like what do you foresee here?
Yeah, obviously, this is a very difficult question because you can't, but first of all, I hope that we do not get cheated of Wemby's career because he is such a talent. He's for me, he's a joy to watch. Now, 5 years from now, are we, he's running it back over and over? Are we going to get tired of him? Because we kind of got fatigued by Golden State over the last couple of years, right? Like, so that's where I'm at first. But I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out there now. I'll say 3 MVPs, 3 NBA titles. You going over? And then I think what that does is that makes somebody think, who do I want, the over or do I want the under on his MVPs in his NBA titles? So
what would they even set the over under at? Like, if Vegas was making odds for this, what do they put something like this at? Like, it's hard to win a championship. Yeah. So like setting the total at like 3 or 3.5 seems ridiculous. They probably set it at 2.5 titles in his career.
I would, and 2.5 MVPs would be my guess. Yeah. Yes.
I will say, so this is the problem. Like, MVPs are harder because we see year after year that there is such a thing as voter fatigue. If there wasn't, LeBron would have like 8 MVPs. Yeah. Jokic would have like 5 MVPs. But instead, like, they just see something different. So I think Wembanyama's ceiling for MVPs is probably 3. I think you nailed that. I'm going to go over, though, with titles, and I'm going to say he wins 4 championships. The generational prospects, I know like you and I use that word jokingly because it seems like everyone is generational, but Victor Wembanyama is in the tier that LeBron James was and in the tier that Shaquille O'Neal was when they came into the NBA. Like, a truly, like, absolute no doubt about it, like, he is going to be an instant megastar. Yeah. Shaq won 4 titles. LeBron's got 4 titles. But unlike those 2 guys, I think Wemby strikes me as someone who's going to stay in San Antonio. I don't think we're going to see like the career, moving to different teams like the 2 other guys. But with 4 titles for both those guys, I think it makes sense for Wemby to also be at 4 titles. So if you gave me the 3 titles over under or right at it, I'm taking the over and I'm going with 4. Yeah. So I'm going to give him 4 championships, 3 MVPs over the course of his career.
I mean, that's an impressive career, and
that's easily top 75 player of all time. Yeah. That's probably top 50 player of all time, and we're probably having the conversation of top 25 player of all time.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, I think that's fair.
With that career, yeah. I mean, we're already talking about Jokic as a top 25 player of all time. Jokic has 1 title.
Mm-hmm. And like, you look at next year and who knows what'll happen in the offseason, but like Denver's not even a top 5 team to win it, a contender next year, are they?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're probably friends.
I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, but the Western Conference as a whole, like, OKC's obviously not going anywhere. They have so many assets. They do have some roster decisions to make, but like, OKC is going to be a factor. Spurs obviously are going to be a factor. Denver's probably on the decline. Minnesota, I'm worried that as good as Anthony Edwards is, like, they might stall out. Yeah. The Lakers are really the wild card because Luka Doncic is still so young. And like, that's just a franchise that can sort of retool on the fly just because of they're the Lakers and they can swing deals that other teams seemingly can't. So like, they can always enter the conversation, but like, it's going to be OKC and San Antonio for at least the next 5 years as the two teams leading that conference. That's what it feels like. All right. The Cavaliers and Knicks. I put this together earlier today. I said it starts tonight. It's going on right now. The game's almost done. And let me know if you had this on your bingo card, Rodney. New York hosting an Eastern Conference final game, game 1, the sold-out Madison Square Garden, incredibly hyped. And right now, with 7 minutes and change left, the Cavaliers are beating them by 20 points.
Yeah.
The Knicks have 73 points. It's 93-73. I'm looking here. So Donovan Mitchell, 29 points, 12 of 18 from the field. He's been awesome. He has 6 steals as well. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson was super cold early on. He's hit a couple shots, but he hasn't hit a 3. The Knicks as a team are 4 for 24 from beyond the arc. That probably hurts them a little bit. But yeah, Anunoby only has 3 points. Towns only has 11 points, 6 turnovers as well. So Cleveland's really putting on a defensive clinic tonight. I was watching that game before the show, and like Cleveland was making everything difficult for the Knicks, and they're going to win game 1 on the road. And that's going to be now Cleveland is now coming off back-to-back dominant road wins where they absolutely nuked the Pistons in game 7 in a game that wasn't close. And do you want to talk about like gutless choking dogs, the Detroit Pistons?
Right. Yeah, that was not great. But if you would have told me that tonight was going to be a blowout, I definitely would have taken the Knicks because I thought this could be blowout situation. I mean, we've seen the Knicks blow out, a couple different times on occasions this year where like they get super hot. And I did not. This is not on my bingo card. I had the Knicks, and I'm going to lose again.
Yeah. So for the series, does this change the equation? Because I mean, all right, 1 year ago, it was Pacers-Knicks. I think you and I were probably like, and a lot of people were probably saying, "Oh, Knicks," because the Pacers. That's just a feel-good story, and the Pacers dominated them. I mean, Pacers won that series in 5?
1 in 5, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, are we seeing a repeat here, where the Cavaliers just play better defense? They're just better. They're deeper. Like, what if that happens? Then, like, are we talking about the Cavs being like a long-term contender in the East? And B, what do you do if you're the Knicks? If you lose to the Pacers and the Cavs back-to-back years in the Eastern Conference Final, at that point you have to have a real conversation about your core and your roster.
Well, you certainly can't blame Tom Thibodeau on this one.
No,
I still don't think that he was that. I mean, I don't think he was the reason, but I guess I get the reason they fired him. But yeah, you do have to have a conversation. But you are contending, like, how much of your core can you actually tear apart when you get to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years in a row? But yeah, no, you definitely have to have conversations about it. It would certainly not be a good look. And back to game 1, like, you're right. This was like the most overhyped, it was overhyped, but most hyped game at the Garden in forever, and just laid an egg tonight. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised at all that it used to be like NBA home teams were pretty solid bet, and over the last couple of years, especially this year, it seems like the home court advantage is totally non-existent. And I'm wondering what the reasons are for that. That we see like these road teams go out there, and like we saw the Spurs, obviously not just OKC, but like the Spurs were great on the road in Minnesota and won a couple games there on the road. We saw Cleveland obviously do it in Detroit in game 5 and game 7. They're doing it again tonight. Like, what Philadelphia? I mean, go back to the first round. Shoot, Philadelphia at Boston. So like, what is it about these NBA playoffs where these road teams aren't just surviving, but they're probably winning more often than not now? What's the reason for that?
I mean, I'm sure it's cliche that you're just playing with a little less pressure. You're playing a little more free and loose. I mean, I don't know. Like, do home crowds make that big a difference to NBA players as much? Obviously, we're seeing it. I don't know if it does. I don't know if it affects them. It's loud everywhere. I'm not sure that affects them. I guess, like, probably, I mean, obviously it means much more in like college basketball, home court.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely a bigger factor. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem to be a big factor anymore.
I saw something on Twitter, and I can't remember if it was like a legitimate piece of journalism or whatever, but like someone was trying to figure out like why aren't road teams struggling the way they used to. And one legitimate explanation, and this is us living up to our name on the Stupidest Sports Show by reporting this, is back in the day, when players wanted to, have relations outside their marriage, it often required them going out and clubbing and partying and staying out super late, all this stuff. Now, with the advent of things like Tinder and like all these apps, like it requires none of that. And like basically the short of it is they can cheat on their wives without like partying all night and, waking up the next day feeling all hungover and like shit. And then they go out and play like shit.
That's journalism, baby.
Well, like, I'm sure that that's not the entire reason, but it makes you wonder a little bit.
Journalism. That's journalism right there. I'm not touching this one.
We know several friends who are journalists. I would like an in-depth report on that.
By the way, I do need to update you. The Pittsburgh Pirates have tied the game now 6-6. Oh. But the Cardinals did get out that they will bat in the bottom of the ninth, tied 6-6. So Pittsburgh, St. Louis in a thriller 6-6 going in the bottom of the ninth. I will keep you updated because
how did the Cubs do with their bases loaded situation? Did Aaron Ashby get out of it? All right.
Well, they took Aaron Ashby out and put in Chad Patrick, and I believe he got out of the inning. Yes, the Brewers ended up winning the game. Brewers won the game 5-2. So the Milwaukee Brewers are now in first place in the National League Central.
I was told that their luck would run out and that they were dead.
Their demise might have been greatly exaggerated. But Cubs and Brewers are final. Brewers are now 10 games over 500.
I have missed the Cubs now losing 8 of their last 10 games.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Well, but like that's what we said about them all year. Like they're going to be so streaky. The entire team is built off just long streaks on one end and the other, and they had 2 super long streaks, and now they're in free fall.
You definitely hate to see that one though. But they're 29-20. Milwaukee's going to be 28-18 now.
Yep. All right. Any final NBA thoughts before we switch gears here?
No, it's been a good both. Obviously last night was a good game. Tonight hasn't been real good, but we'll be looking forward to game 2 in Oklahoma City.
All right, the NHL conference finals are set. We have our final 4 teams. Did you catch any of the Sabres Canadiens yesterday too? Like while Game 1 of Thunder Spurs is happening, we have Game 7 of this Canadian Sabres series, and goes to overtime. I feel like a lot of Game 7s go to overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. I can't even call it like a miracle run because the Sabres were division winners, but like I'm kind of bummed that the Sabres didn't end up going to the conference final. So instead, it'll be the Canadiens against the Hurricanes, the Golden Knights against the Avalanche. Both the Avalanche and the Hurricanes are pretty substantial favorites this series. Like the Avalanche had let me count here, a 26-point advantage over the Golden Knights this year, 121 points to 95. The Hurricanes and Canadiens were a little closer, only 7 points, but Carolina is actually a larger favorite, ever so slightly, than Colorado is, which I disagree with.
They're overvaluing Vegas.
I think I would say Colorado should be a bigger favorite than Carolina is. And the reason being is for Carolina, number one, I think Montreal has shown time and time again that they can pull out games that they get outplayed in. There were several games in these first 2 series where they were significantly outplayed. Like they got outshot by close to 15 yesterday and still found a way to win on the road. And they've been a consistently good road team throughout this postseason. But also, do you know the last time the Carolina Hurricanes played a hockey game?
It's been a while. They've been off a while.
May 9th. And they're finally going to play on May 21st. You want to talk about the rest versus rust debate. I don't know, man. 12 days between games kind of feels like it's too long.
It feels long. I just don't think Montreal's given them any threat though. I know you said they can win games that they've been outplayed. I don't see it. I think yes, there might be early rust, but I think Carolina will have enough. I don't know if the Hurricane or if the Canadians win a game in that series.
So you're taking Carolina in a sweep?
I mean, I would probably safely say 5.
Yeah.
I'd be safe that way, but Carolina wins this series easily.
I mean, I'll take Carolina too, but I'm going to give Montreal a little bit more credit than you are. I'm going to say this series ends in 6 games.
Okay. Fair enough.
But then on the other side, I think Colorado beats them in 5.
I'll go 5 in that one as well. I think Vegas wins one of their home games, but Colorado takes all 3 of their home games in this series. And Colorado would be a fun Stanley Cup Finals, though.
That would be an excellent Stanley Cup final. Yeah, I mean, you have a Colorado team that is just like so fast, so fluid, just the way that they move the puck, and then a Carolina team that just plays really, really strong defense. I mean, they haven't given up a goal, or sorry, they haven't allowed a or had a win. Like they're 8-0 so far this postseason. They've been playing just lights out defense in both their series. So yeah, it'll be really fun. What is also something that I was thinking about too, where all 4 remaining goalies in this series, like I know people are like, oh, you need goaltending to win, or a hot goalie, whatever. Like the most decorated goalie remaining is Frederik Andersen.
Yeah.
Who's always been like pretty good, but not like someone who you would say, oh, he can be the number 1 option on a Stanley Cup winner.
Right.
The other goalies that are in the playoffs right now, so they have Jacob Dobesh, I think is how you say his name, 24-year-old rookie from Montreal. You have then for Colorado, Scott Wedgwood, who entered the year as a backup. And the only reason that he was starting is because Mackenzie Blackwood missed a lot of time with injury. And then with Vegas, you have Carter Hart, who was picked up midseason as a free agent after he was cleared with the whole Hockey Canada thing. So like free agent pickup, rookie, formerly like career backup, and then Freddie Andersen. Like that's got to be one of the strangest mixes of goalies, and like one of those goalies going to be hoisting the cup here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's all about getting hot at the right time and just having really solid defense behind you. And Carolina obviously has really, but all these teams play good enough defense that their goalie is not put in a compromising spot. So yeah, no, it's interesting that those are the 4 left.
All right, switching gears here to baseball. I was waiting for one of these articles to hit, and today ESPN.com. This is what I used to do on the radio all the time. Like I would pray that like ESPN or whoever would put out an article that I like dedicate a segment to it. Be like, let's talk about it. So ESPN.com today puts out what we've learned so far about ABS, the automated ball strike challenge system. And there were some stats and some observations that I surmised from the article. And this is from Bradford Doolittle on ESPN.com. So I would advise anyone to go and read it. It's really challenging. But I put together the top 5 stats and observations from this article about ABS, what we've seen so far through May 19th. So number 5, the Minnesota Twins lead the league with 124 challenges. These are ball strike challenges exclusively. The Red Sox are last in the league with 63.
Just not doing them.
I'm stunned that there is such a large discrepancy where either the Twins are doing it way too much or the Red Sox are not doing it enough. It's probably the latter. I think more teams are closer to the Twins than the Red Sox are.
Well,
the fact that
just think about that for a second. I mean, the Red Sox coming into today had played 48 games, so they're only challenging one and a quarter, like 1.25 a game. That's not very many.
No, you get 2.
Yeah. Yeah,
you might as well use them if you get 2 minimum.
Yeah, they're not even using their 2, so they're not using them enough.
No, that's something that really stood out to me. All right, so number 4, the Miami Marlins, who have been, interesting. Like they're one of the teams that doesn't have a catcher calling the games. All of the pitches are being called exclusively from the dugout. So the pitcher and the catcher really just focus on framing all that stuff. The Marlins have 90 challenges that are defensive challenges, meaning the pitcher or catcher. It leads the league. However, they're batters. So when they're on offense, they are 29th out of 30 teams in batter challenges. So they're almost exclusively challenging when they're on defense as opposed to when they're up to bat, which that's a dedicated strategy there. Where on the other side, another team, I didn't mention it here, but the Orioles are the opposite, where the Orioles, I think, are 6th in batter challenges, but they're second to last in defensive challenges. So their batters are going up challenging a bunch, but their catcher, Rutschman or whoever, isn't challenging anything.
Yeah. And I wonder what is this? It would be hard to pin down a strategy on this, right? Because these batters are wanting to. They're probably wanting to use it. If they can't, I don't know. That's interesting. But go ahead. Yeah. I'm just trying to think about what a proper strategy would be. Go ahead.
So real quick, so we might have been too soon about anointing the Cleveland Cavaliers as Eastern Conference champs. Yeah. There are 2 minutes left right now, and the Knicks have cut it to a 4-point ball game. And Cleveland gets a put back here. I can't do play-by-play on the live stream here. So Cleveland's up by 6 with 1:52 left. But just know this was a 20-point game earlier this quarter that the Knicks now have stormed back. I before we started this segment, I was like, oh, wow, it's only a 9-point game or so. And then I looked at it was a 4-point game. But Knicks just missed a shot. Cleveland got the rebound here. So I think the Cavs are going to hold on. But, boy, that got close.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. The teams as far as who's succeeding in the challenges, the Twins and the Rockies. Ironic that it's 2 pretty bad teams, but those are the 2 teams right now where their challenges have given them 4-point runs better than expectation, while the Rangers are the worst challenging at minus 1.6 runs better than expectation. So 1.6 runs worse than expectation, which I think they said if you extrapolate the difference between those over the course of a season, it's a 3-win difference, which isn't small.
Right.
So clearly the Rangers aren't necessarily good at these challenges here. All right. Number 2, Carson Kelly. He's currently the catcher for the Chicago Cubs. Used to be a Cardinal, right? Didn't he come up as a Cardinal?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
All right. So I'm going to read these here. So Carson Kelly, going into today, 21-4 in his defensive challenges while catching. Oh, wow. Are you watching this Knicks game?
I have the Cardinals on. Did the Knicks score again?
Knicks just tied it up.
It
was a 3 that bounced off the rim and then the backboard. It was ugly. Harden shot. Harden with the mid-range shot. Cleveland is up 2 with just under 30 seconds left. I can't give play-by-play, but I can tell you kind of what's happening. Knicks have the ball. Brunson hits the shot. Hits the layup. It is 101-101, less than 20 seconds left. Cleveland has the basketball.
Timeout, probably.
No, they're letting him play. Harden has the ball up top. 7 seconds left. He gets a screen. All right, F it. I'm doing play-by-play. Sam Merrill from the key. Oh, it was in and out. And game 1 is going to overtime.
That's fantastic basketball because we had the overtime last night. We're going to overtime tonight. Yeah. Hopefully the Cardinals can win here in extra innings, and I can watch another overtime because that's what I did last night. But anyways, that's
what a comeback for the Knicks.
Kind of a GCD for Cleveland.
That's a huge GCD for Cleveland.
Yeah.
Wow.
If they don't win this, I bet the Garden is absolutely up for grabs though.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Got to get back to Carson Kelly. So Carson Kelly, 21-4 in challenges while catching. That's an 84% success rate, translating to 2.3 runs above expectation. He's also 1 for 1 as a hitter. So do you want to hear this great stat, Rodney?
I do.
This is some nerd stuff. If Carson Kelly was a team. Just Carson Kelly alone. His 2.6 runs above expectation for ABS challenges would rank 7th in Major League Baseball.
Oof. That's impressive.
I would say the Cubs are getting a lot of advantages from Carson Kelly behind the plate right now.
Yeah.
And then number one observation, this should not surprise you. With a lot of strikes being overturned and becoming balls, the walk rate is now at 9.4%, currently on track to be the highest it's been since 2000. There's only been 4 times ever in baseball history that the walk rate has been 9.5 or higher. So we could be looking at a pretty significant moment here where just under 10% of plate appearances are ending in walks. It's a full percentage point higher than what we saw last year with walks. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that like pitches that are normally called strikes are now balls. Yeah. And I think and the stat in particular that really jumped out at me here is this season 47.3% of pitches have been in what now constitutes the strike zone. Last year that figure was 50.6. So a lot more pitches that were previously strikes last year are now balls, resulting in more walks. So not surprising.
So after saying all that, after giving us those stats, do you still like ABS, right?
Yeah, no, I do. And one thing that I'm really fascinated at is what you were talking about, like trying to figure out the strategy, because I think it's now clear that because all the umps, like it's not just like, we have the same ump crew all season. Like they're all rotating these umps. Like in theory, all of the teams should be challenging like a kind of similar amount, but like the fact that there's such a huge discrepancy between the Twins and the Red Sox, or that there's such a huge discrepancy in the teams that are having the catcher challenge as opposed to having their batters challenge.
Right.
Like there's clearly at this point team mandated strategy that goes into this, and trying to figure that out is fascinating to me.
It is. Yeah, no, it is. It's I was talking to somebody this afternoon. We've talked about this before, and I'm changing the subject just slightly, but speed up rules, we still like these too, right?
The speed up rules, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I do. I just think it's better to watch. But by the way, 6-6, bottom 10, Cardinals did not give up a run with the free runner. So that's huge.
That's a rule I hate still. No, that's a rule I hate still. Like,
yeah, no, I don't need that. But I also know I don't love like the 19 inning games though either.
How okay, people say that, but how many extra inning games go 19 innings in baseball history? How many before 2020?
Yeah, not a ton, but I don't know.
The average was I would bet the overwhelming majority of extra inning games in baseball history before we instituted this rule were games that still ended in the 10th or 11th inning, which is what we have now.
Yeah.
So why did we need to do it?
Yeah, you're probably right, but JJ Weatherholt base hit, but it was a line drive that he had to hold up. So first and third, nobody out for the Cardinals.
Rodney, you were locked in on Cardinal baseball right now in a way that you probably didn't think you would be on May 19th.
I mean, yeah, they've been good. But anyways, all right, let's move on so we can not derail the rest of the show here.
All right. Real quick, I threw this in there. I put a lot of work into this, so I want to get to it. So there are still quite a number of players that are free agents right now in the NFL. Lots of vets and lots of big names. So many so, I don't even know if that's a phrase, I spent actual time today during my workday, which is not advised, to put together a 53-man roster of players that are, as of today, May 19th, free agents in the National Football League. So it's a little hard to read because it's a little small, but I'll give you the highlights here. So the offense, I have a 3 running back room of Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb. My wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. I have Keenan Allen and Deebo Samuel. I also could be getting Brandon Ayuk post June 1st if he ends up getting cut by the 49ers. Jonnu Smith, Zach Ertz are my tight ends. My quarterback room is definitely the weakest with Russell Wilson and Jimmy Garoppolo. I will admit there. It would have been a lot better if I had 48-year-old Aaron Rodgers, but I digress. So just offensively, though, Rodney, you see some of these names here. That's a pretty good group still. No? Like, that offensive line, I'm like, Decker's good, Batonio, Jack Hawk. I'm like, that offensive line I feel like could really, really help. And,
by the way, Ivan Herrera walk-off 3-run homer.
He's on one of my fantasy teams. So, Ivan.
Tarps off.
Tarps off. Is that an every game thing, or was that just one day?
Take my shirt off. Should I take?
Do it. Do it.
I'm good. Cardinals win 9-6. Go ahead. Continue with your NFL team. This is interesting. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, offensively here, like, I feel like that team could actually do something now in 2026. Or is it too old?
It's pretty old, but I think they can do something. Yeah, no, I like that. I like it. Your quarterback struggles, though. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but Taysom Hill, who I currently have as my third string tight end, is also, a backup quarterback option as well. Taysom Hill's like 36 years old.
Yeah. And we just keep trotting him out there, put him on our DFS lineups and stuff like that. 36. He's still out there. Yeah.
I feel like you have a Taysom Hill lineup every single week in fantasy.
Well, I mean, if he's the starting tight end, because he's going to be the starting tight end, starting running back, and heck, he might be a quarterback every once in a while. But Taysom Hill. I'll be ready. I'll be ready for him to retire, so I don't get interested in putting him in my lineup.
So you stop being his Huckleberry.
Yeah.
By the way, the New York Knicks have scored all 6 points this overtime. And are up 107-101, just over 2 minutes left. They turned the ball over here, which I think if they would have hit a shot and made it a 9 or 10 point game, that would have been ice. But Cleveland has the ball. Evan Mobley with a 3. He misses it. Knicks get the rebound. I think the Knicks are going to win this game, brother.
Wow.
Less than 2 minutes left. They're up by 6. They have the ball. Shamit drills a 3. This one's over.
See you, Cavs.
Knicks up by 9 in overtime. They're going to win this. They're going to win this basketball game. That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. See you, Cavs. Wow.
And I never doubted the Knicks at any point. And those who were listening at the beginning of the show, just know that I never once wavered in my support of the Knicks. I didn't talk about blowing up the team, trying to rebuild, trade players. Never once. Never wavered. All right, defensively, real quick. I could not get over the amount of edge rushers I have: Joey Bosa, Cameron Jordan, Jadeveon Clowney, Hassan Reddick, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller. I mean, it's old guys, but boy, if I need to get at the quarterback, I like my group here. And then you have Devin Bush, Bobby Okereke, Bobby Wagner, Levante David as inside linebackers. Surely some of these guys can help a football team today, right? Am I crazy here?
They can help, yeah. And why do we have more free agents than usual at this time?
No, I feel like this is pretty normal, but I don't know, man. The names are so big. These are huge names that we're talking about. Look, Dan already says he's taking over the Dolphins, Browns, Cardinals. I agree, man. This team, even with the bad quarterback situation, would win a minimum of 6 games this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
Guys that don't have jobs right now. None of these guys have jobs.
Yeah, it's weird.
But the cornerbacks, Marshawn Lattimore, Trayvon Diggs, L'Jarius Sneed. You have Harrison Smith as one of your safeties. It's a great group.
Yeah. I'm kind of confused why we have so many good free agents still out there.
Yeah, and then I even added Sky Moore as our return specialist there. He's a free agent. I built the whole damn team, man. 53 guys on this team.
Good job at your work. I hope your boss did not find out.
No. Well, honestly, I'll probably tell him about it tomorrow.
Hey, boss, you know what I did yesterday?
It was the end of the day. It was near the end of the day, so it's fine. It's
nothing else to do in Hawaii.
No. All right. Since you want to sass me, let's get to best bets for betting.
Let's not
really well. let's go through this in depth here. So these were Friday games. So Rodney loved the Cavaliers over the Pistons. The Cavaliers, who apparently can't close, that is carried over. The Cavaliers were destroyed by Detroit. Timberwolves were destroyed by San Antonio. The Fever lost at home to the Mystics. The Cubs won. I'm sure you were pumped about that. And then the Guardians lost to the Reds. So that is a 1-4 week for Rodney.
Terrible.
How did I do?
I'm so bad at this. I'm so
78 and 87 is a really, like, that record hurts, man. That's a really bad record. Like, if I was out there, I would probably quit. I think I'd stop.
I'm getting ready for football.
Me, on the other hand, I had a great best bets for betting. The Pistons dominated the Cavs, as I said they would. The Spurs rolled over the T-Wolves, as I said they would. The Canadians, I don't know what happened there. The Sabres randomly scored 8 goals in Montreal. That was a weird series.
Yeah.
The Tigers won as home dogs against Toronto, and the Cubs pulled away late. That was a close game until the last couple innings. So that's a 4-1 weekend for me. That puts me above 500 again, 83 and 82, a 5-game lead over Rodney. I hope the Substack's doing better.
Oh man, I don't know, man. That 5-game lead. You've had a 5-game lead before, and I've climbed back to within 2. So we got a long way to go. The good part about this, Tim, the good part about this is this is a contest that we have until the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know, man. I know. And, like, we're going to get to a point where it's just baseball and it's so unpredictable, and, like, that's not going to go well.
Oh, no, the WNBA, as you can see, I did really well with my one WNBA. I picked the Fever at home, and they lost.
Yeah, nailed that one. By the way, shout out to Aaron Rye, the PGA Championship winner. He of 2 gloves of the iron covers. Did you know that Aaron Rye, going into this tournament, had longer odds to win the PGA Championship than the Chicago White Sox did to win the World Series?
Yeah, wasn't he 1250 to 1?
Something like that. Yeah, like he was like, yeah, I don't know what the final number was, but yeah, it was.
I think 125 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, super likable guy. Just like obviously learning more about him. I had heard the name, but like I didn't know his whole background, as I'm sure a lot of golf fans didn't. But congratulations to him. Did you watch it all on Sunday?
Very little. I don't know, man. I just couldn't. Our team. I did cash one minimum $5 contest, but I don't know. Like I didn't quite get into this one. Sometimes I'm really into these majors. Sometimes I'm not. This was one I was kind of meh on. But I'm pacing myself for the Open Championship in July. I'll be ready.
That's your favorite one.
I'll be ready.
It's like the 6 a.m. primetime broadcast, right?
I just love. I mean,
Yeah.
For me, it'll be done by like noon. I love that. I get my golf done during the workday, and all done. But no, I do like the Open Championship, and like 30-mile-an-hour winds, and the leaders +5, and no, I mean, it should be fun. But no, I didn't see much. But congrats to Aaron Ray. That is impressive. And but you don't like majors with nobody's winning.
That is true. But I did have a soft spot for Aaron Rodgers, just hearing his story and about it. So I was happy for him. And on Sunday, when the top names that were competing were live guys, I had to pull for one of the underdogs. I'd rather have an Aaron Rye win than John Rahm win. So
yeah,
I had to make that trade off there. But no, shout out to him. And yeah, this is like JJ Spawn last year winning the U.S. Open. Like this is now back-to-back years where we kind of had a real underdog win one of these things.
Yeah.
So now we got a U.S. Open to get to next month I think it's like in New York, like in Long Island, and then Open Championship in July, which will be fun. All right, let's wrap the show by remembering someone. And once again, I just think about like who's the first guy that pops into my head. So Rodney, remember Warwick Dunn?
Yeah, the former Florida State Seminole, if I remember right. He grew up in Louisiana, went to Florida State. Wasn't he first round pick, right? Like
he was 12th. 12th overall after a 4-year career at FSU. He's a college football Hall of Famer, so a very, very good Florida State Seminole. But yeah, 12th overall pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Warrick Dunn ended up playing 12 years in the NFL, 3-time Pro Bowler. His rookie year, he was the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year and a Pro Bowler. But what fascinates me about Warrick Dunn is, like, there's a conversation that he was one of the most underrated, maybe the most underrated running back of his generation, because, you know, he was doing his thing 2000s where you had LaDainian Tomlinson and Sean Alexander and Priest Holmes, like, you know, take your pick, like all these great running backs. And Warrick Dunn was having seasons where he would have 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards. He had one year where he had 1,400 yards. The problem is that a lot of those years, especially with Atlanta, he had a guy named Michael Vick as his quarterback. So Michael Vick was getting a lot of the yards, was getting a lot of the touchdowns. And I think that Vick's greatness kind of made people forget a little bit about Warrick Dunn. Like the year, it was 2005, while Warrick Dunn had 1,400 rushing yards, but only 3 rushing touchdowns. I'm gonna assume that that's a big reason for that, and 1 receiving touchdown. So like 4 touchdowns in a year where he was a Pro Bowler and had 1,400 yards. That's probably because Michael Vick was running in a lot of damn touchdowns, and you know, like really just dominating at that time. So, like, I think that he kind of got lost a little bit in history, but like super good player, great college player. You know, had a long career, was a Walter Payton Man of the Year winner in I think when he went back to Tampa, because he went Tampa, Atlanta, and then Tampa again to finish up his career. But like, I think a really overlooked guy in NFL history. Yeah, no, he had a great career. He said over 10,000 rushing yards, offensive rookie of the year. Yeah, a lot of things he did. A lot of impressive, and you know, college football Hall of Famers, as you mentioned. So, been a great running back all through his career. 51 years old now. I bet he can still move. He was always in good shape. I bet he can still run well. Yep, and he is very, very involved in charity, even going back to like when he first went into the NFL, established Homes for the Holidays program and the Warrick Dunn Charities in 2002. The Warrick Dunn Charities, by the way, assisted like single parents, giving them homes, like good home environments. And one of the homes that the Warrick Dunn Charity established and helped set up was for the family of future NFL player Deshaun Watson. Oh, okay. Which sounded a lot better like 7 years ago if I would have given you that about Deshaun Watson. But obviously his charity work has made significant impact for years and years. So all around good guy, Warrick Dunn, underrated player. Just wanted to give him a shout out. So 49 career touchdowns in college, including 16 his junior season. So the boy could run. Yeah. The boy could run. He's always been able to run. And NFC South all of his life. So shout out, Warrick Dunn. Good work. The Knicks, by the way, won 115-104. Wow. Cleveland. What was the line? So they said largest playoff comeback win since 1970. Rodney, you ready for this? The Knicks ended the game on a 44-11 run. Oh. Knicks were 6.5-point favorites. They covered 9. They covered the 9. They covered. There was never a doubt. By 9. Good work, Knicks. If you are the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, this has got to be one of the worst feelings that you will ever have as a basketball player. Yeah, not great. Not great. Now, I'm trying to figure out exactly what went wrong because 40% from the field, 32% from 3, shot 23 free throws, so didn't really get abused at the free throw line. They were out-rebounded by 10, turned it over 21 times. But, like, no glaring stats are like, this is why they lost. They're just – yeah. Brunson really took over. Like, he had such a slow start. He had 17 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. Finished with 38. So like because he was really bad. Like he hadn't hit a 3 in the first like 3 quarters of the game. I don't even know if he ended up hitting too many threes later on, but like just went on a huge run. But yeah, largest comeback in Knicks playoff history. That's insane, man. That's insane.
All the goofies are out on Times Square right now after that one. You can bet that place is going to be a nightmare. We've both been there at night. We know what Times Square is like at night. Now we got the goofies after 19,000 Knicks fans.
I like if you are there, if you made the ill-advised decision so go to that game wearing a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. There is no way that you can wear that jersey out of the arena, right? Like you have to take that off.
Yeah.
And you like stuff into your pocket or like hide it. Like you cannot go out there in a Cavaliers jersey because you will get annihilated by those New York fans.
You imagine being on the subway or something like that after that. Oh man. But I'm sure Manhattan and Times Square are up for grabs after that one. That's a big win. Yeah. Good win for the Knicks. And hopefully that means it's a good series.
That is an unbelievable thing. Yeah. So I can't wait to see like the full highlights on how everything came together. Because that happened in the span of like 15 minutes. Like when we were talking about it, we talked hockey, baseball, and then we looked, it was like, oh shit, the game's tied.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And somehow the Knicks won. They were down like 20 when we started the show.
Yep. Never doubt. All right, let's wrap up the show here. A reminder that you can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. It's not X, it's Twitter. It always will be. And Rodney, despite his awful record for best bets for betting here, he actually has a pretty successful betting record on Substack. So the QR code that's been on our screen the whole show, make sure to scan that. You can it'll take you right to the Substack. Give it a follow. You'll get Rodney's free betting picks daily straight to your inbox. He keeps a tab of all of his games every single day, so you know exactly where he stands. And he's won money. You will win money in the long run. As long as you're not betting WNBA, you'll be in good shape. But that's it for me, man. I think we had a good show. We covered everything.
Yeah, no, all good. And we'll be back on Thursday. I'll play on our show. We'll have another Eastern Conference Finals game. We'll have a hockey game going on. So, yeah, it's like should be a good time. We'll be back on Thursday for the 147th edition of the show. And we'll be 2 days closer to the National Football League. So, looking forward to that. We'll be there Thursday.
Beautiful. All right, he's Rodney Newpel. I'm Tim, the Parisian Torpedo Van Stratton. And we'll talk to you Thursday for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.